morning, everybody. Welcome to the Charles H. Wright. My name is Toya Hankins, and we're ready to get this show started. We're so happy to have you all here tonight. Are y'all ready to get funked up? All right. Well, now y'all know we couldn't have a conversation without a little music, right? So we have one of Detroit's rising stars here to kind of set the tone, get things started. You may have seen him on stage with many other artists performing, or perhaps as one of the lead singers of Detroit's own The Dramatics. So please help me welcome to the stage Detroit's own Apropos.
Thank you, love you. Detroit, what's going on? What the funk? Y'all ready to sing? Y'all ready to move? Y'all ready to get up out your seats? Let's start this. We're gonna do a medley. Let's go, y'all. Come on. I know y'all know this. Come on. Yeah. Y'all gonna sing it with me, right? Y'all gonna sing it with me, right? Nasty though. Come on. Atomic. Atomic doll on the streets. Come on. Get up out your seats. Hey. Bow wow, yippee yo, yippee yay. Yippee yo, yippee yay. Bow wow, yippee yo, yippee yay. Untied dog on the metallic streets. Ain't your average Huckleberry Hound. Why must I feel like that? Oh, why must I chase the cat? Come on. Hey, hey, hey. Nothing but the what? Come on, one more time. Hey, nothing but the dog in me. Nothing but the dog in me. Hey, ow! Nothing but the dog in me. Nothing but the dog in me. Why must I feel like that? Why must I chase the cat? Hey. Nothing but the dog in me. Nothing but the dog in me. Hey, why must I feel like that? Hey, you can't get on it. So low, you can't get under it. So high, you can't get over it. So low, you can't get. Come on, y'all know this part. Yeah, yeah. Do. Come on. Yeah, yeah. Do. Hey, now's your chance. Now's your chance. Oh yeah. Chance. Oh, under your restrictions. Listen, we're gonna get freaky up and down. Nowhere. Hey, ready or not, here we come, getting down on. Come on, stop us down. Hey, one nation. Woo! Oh, yeah! Come on, hey, Jeffy, don't tell me now. Woo! Can I get it on a good foot? Good going. Hey. Oh, yeah. Woo! Nothing but the fun. Come on. One more time. Yeah. The virus, the fun, the whole fun. Nothing but the fun. Put a funk up here. Come on. Yeah. Hey. And we're gonna have a good time. Yeah, da, 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 da. need. Yeah, but not just need. Oh, what you did agree with me. Never missing a beat, yeah. Oh, boy, was in need, yeah. The girl's a freak, the girl never misses a beat, yeah, yeah, yeah. What you did agree with me. It didn't work, no. Why? It wasn't funky no more. The freaking, yeah. It was not just me deep. What you did agree with me? Woo! Hey! Come on now, y'all. Tear the roof off the sucker, come on! Tear the roof off the sucker, tear the roof off the mother sucker, tear the roof off the sucker! Alright, y'all, we all gotta sing this, come on! Gotta take it down, there's a whole lot of rhythm roll around. Woo! Come on, y'all, sing it! Yeah! There's a whole lot of... What we want? Come on. Yeah, I hear you. We gotta have this now. Oh, I want the funk, yeah. Oh, gotta have the funk. Come on. Yeah, 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 yeah.
and we're on the move. Under a roof. Can't stop us now. Nothing can stop us now. You can't stop us now. Giving you more of what we're fucking for. Giving you more of what you're fucking for. Please don't tell me now. Got to get it on the good foot. Good God. One nation and we're on the move.
What up, though, Detroit? We got a real type of thing going. There's a whole lot of... Come on, y'all, one more time. We got a... And we got to do it, y'all. All. Uh-huh. Ow. Hey. Oh, man. We do want the funk, and it's going to be coming up very shortly with so many feelings of gratitude and excitement on behalf of my colleagues here at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. Please greet... Peace, 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 everybody. I am Yolanda Jack, the manager of community engagement here. It is my pleasure to greet you all before this amazing conversation. It is so awesome to have a pioneer, a legend, I don't even know all the ways we could talk about George Clinton, but not only George Clinton, because it's more than just George Clinton here. You all are in store for a treat. People who have learned and have done the work, who have lived the life of musicians and have brought culture and history from the days when it was being made as history to now the fact that we are remembering it as history. I am so happy to be greeting you all, and it's my responsibility to introduce Miss Ann DeLisi. Ann DeLisi is one of Detroit's most well-known radio personalities, a DJ, podcaster, and business owner who is involved in multiple aspects of Detroit culture and can be heard on Detroit's WDET-FM public radio station. A native Detroiter, that's right, big up WDET. We do love DET in this place, that's right. Ann is a native Detroiter, grew up on the east side of Detroit, and went to Wayne State University and studied music at Wayne State University. And after starting as a music librarian at the station, she eventually became music director, in addition to hosting the Ann DeLisi program. After a stint at Windsor's CIDR-FM, and then opportunities with several other Detroit radio stations and hosting Backstage Pass on WTVS-TV, DeLisi returned to WDET in 2009, hosting Ann DeLisi's Essential Music, taking listeners deeper with artists, interviews, and live in-studio performances. Since returning to DET, DeLisi has created several new programs, including an interview show called Ann DeLisi's Essential Conversations and Ann DeLisi's Essential Cooking with Chef James Rigatto. And starting in 2021, the Don Was Motor City Playlist with Detroit All-Star music producer Don Was. And continues her dedication to a wide spectrum of Detroit culture and joins us tonight to facilitate this conversation with George Clinton. Please help me welcome to the stage, Ann DeLisi.
How are you guys? It's really great to have you here, and I'm really honored to be here. You know, I've interviewed, she read too much about me, by the way. That was way too much. But my favorite thing, I think, is to interview people and explore the creative spirit and figure out what makes creative people tick. And this, our guest tonight is a bucket list interview for me. And I am beyond honored. I was just talking to George backstage about how he used to come to WDET to do fundraisers and to help us raise money. And this was back in the 80s and 90s. And I was really young back then, and I was completely awestruck by his presence there. And I've always wanted to be able to have a conversation with him. I do want to tell you that we will barely scratch the surface tonight. George has been making music for 70 years. So I know you're going to say, why didn't she ask him about this or that? And I'm really going to try to get to as much as I can. about George Clinton tonight, and we got some clips to play, and I'm going to try to cram as much into this conversation as I possibly can. Before I introduce Mr. Clinton, I wanted to acknowledge a legendary artist in our house tonight in the front row over there, one of my favorite people ever. Legendary, iconic Motown arranger and producer and composer, Mr. Paul Reiser. I had the opportunity to interview Paul in front of an audience a couple of years ago, and that was a bucket list too, so. All right, the reason I'm going on and on is I'm not sure if George is ready to come out here yet. Is he ready? 5 minutes. I don't have that much to say to you guys.
Go ahead and sing. Don't you want to hear her sing?
Nope. Nope. We don't want that either. Oh, thank God. Okay. He's here? Okay. Cut that music. I actually have an appropriate introduction to read to you. So when we look back at music history and ask ourselves if an artist changed the course of music, or if music that we've heard for decades would have been different without them, the answer in this case is a resounding yes. Everything we hear today was influenced by George Clinton. So he's been making music, as I said, for over 70 years, and that mothership is about 50 years old. So, so it's a holy mothership, and its pilot, of course, is George Clinton. Tonight I'll barely scratch the surface, as I said, but he is an icon. I am honored to talk to him. I'm grateful to you for being here tonight, and certainly for him to spend time talking with me. Please welcome to the stage, George Clinton. Go. Is this on now? Are we on?
Are we on?
You're not on.
You mean I was talking Test. Oh,
Ooh.
shit. Oh, y'all didn't hear me before, did you? What up, though?
Thank you for being here.
Glad to be here.
And thank you for doing this. Okay, so as I mentioned before you walked out, you've been making music for 70 years, so we're going to scratch the surface a little bit tonight. But this is a burning question I've had for a long time. What were you like as a kid?
What was I like as a kid? Shit. Oh, man. Sneaky.
Really?
No, I was cool.
Did you like Did you like school?
No. No, I mean, I was into music right probably from about 12 years old on.
Were you playing an instrument by then?
No, I didn't play no instrument, still don't, but I could run my mouth. You know, I got strung out on Frankie Lyman in the teenagers.
Yep, exactly.
That got me hooked, and Smokey Robinson took it over from there.
Yeah.
And I was a Motown chaser from then on.
You were. And you wrote for Motown.
I wrote.
You were a staff writer, right?
I was a staff writer there. Didn't get nowhere, but I was hanging out till I got out here and got real close to him.
So talk about what it was like to be in that Motown world of Motown Records. Everyone's always so curious about somebody that was actually there.
I can't say enough good stuff about Motown. I mean, it's not because we're here, believe you me. I say this all the time. That was the best era of music, and writers and producers and singers and performers.
that was my world. My whole thing was trying to become a part of the Motown Review. They'll tell you, I bugged the hell out of them. I came out here and worked with Ed Wingate, got close as I could until we got I want to testify, but I was still trying. So no, that was what inspired me. I was, like I said, going to be a singer, a doo-wopper from the beginning. I was going to do that. But having to chase all those great singers and writers and performers out here made me have to elevate what I was trying to do. As soon as I caught up with them and got out here, they moved. Went to LA, went into movies. So I was strung out here by myself. So I had to make something out of what I wanted to do, and it was all based on having wanted to be there that we came across what we call funk. We couldn't be cool and couldn't be smooth as the Temptations. We was all short and they was all cool. So we couldn't do that, so we said we're going to do some really nasty music. Because the European groups had taken over rock and roll. That was ours in the 50s, early 50s. They had taken over the blues, and wasn't nothing left. I said, okay, well, I know what. The only people doing this is going to be down in New Orleans somewhere, so we're going to sneak in something called funky. But we had to be true to it. I mean, we wouldn't change it even when the style changed. We said we're going to still do what we do. We started at the 20 grand. We used to be running around in there with diapers on and nothing on. We were going to make ourselves known. And we did that until we got what we was looking for. And we was free your mind, your ass will follow. And we were out of here.
All right, let's go back a little bit to the barbershop.
Okay. That was preparation for what I just said.
But the barbershop was where you started to hone a lot of like what you would plan musically is where a lot of that came from. And you were a hairdresser, right?
I was a hairdresser. I did the fly hairdos, with the waves, finger waves, the cool look that was from the 50s and 60s. That's what we did as we planned to become, pop stars. We rehearsed it in the barber shop. We did the stars' hair when they came around New Jersey, New York.
Patti LaBelle.
Oh, I did Patti and Nona.
You did her hair, and Nona Hendricks.
I did Patti's when she was Patti LaBelle in the Bluebells. Okay, that douchey head, I did that.
You?
And that douchey head with the waves down, coming down the front, not the big one, the little one in the flat. Yeah, I did that. And Nona, matter of fact, I did Nona's hair as far as 2002. I did Nona's hair in Paris for a magazine because they was interviewing me like you, and they wanted to do it in a beauty parlor to make the scene, and so I did Nona's hair in the beauty parlor in Paris.
Did you never stop doing it?
Well, I had stopped, but that was just a good set. That was a nice set. We was kicking it about barbershop, so Nona wasn't scared. I wasn't scared.
All right, I want to play a little bit of a song from the Parliaments, in case folks don't remember. So you're going to play track 2 for a little bit.
Friends.
To that, do you remember recording it? Do you have?
Oh, hell yeah!
What studio were you at? Do you remember?
That was United.
United Sound.
United Sound.
So.
That's right around the corner.
Yep. Can you talk a little bit about United Sound, because so many people have like questions about what it was like to be in that legendary place, because so much music was made there.
Well, I mean, I can think of being in there. Probably was doing One Nation Under a Groove, and Aretha Franklin, and what's the girl name from London?
Annie Lennox.
Annie Lennox.
Sisters are doing it for
Sisters
themselves.
doing it for each.
Yeah.
We were there while they were recording.
You were?
We was in the A room. They were in the B room. Aretha had all the food in the world there. We was going back to stealing the food. And, but no, that was so much fun. Just being there, or either me taking the Red Hot Chili Peppers to go see Aretha.
We were talking about George working with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and
Oh my God. Yeah, no, they're my boys. We could have got in trouble though.
they were at your house, right, in Brooklyn,
Oh yeah,
right?
no, we was out in Brooklyn. They stayed with me for about 2 weeks, and I realized that I was much older than them, and I couldn't hang with them. And I might be a bad influence on them, but then they could have been a bad influence on me. I don't know, but we decided I'd bring them into town and got them an apartment here in Detroit.
All right, we're going to go take a couple steps back, and we're going to play track 1. And this is a clip of you talking, and it blew my mind. So this is, this is a different clip, because we're going to go back to Motown for a second before we get too far off the rails, which is going to happen through this whole interview. But
everybody was on this
talking about
this Bob
Motown
Dylan
music,
kick.
and
The
this
Four
is
Tops,
Bob Dylan.
Reach Out for Me.
Can you put that back for a second?
Everybody was on this.
Can you turn it up?
Everybody was on this Bob Dylan kick. The Four Tops, Reach Out for Me, and Bernadette, and Standing in the Shade. All of that, all the day. Everybody was doing that. Mick Jagger was doing that. So when we did Friend, and where is your friend? Asking me what? I was doing my interpretation of Bob Dylan, but not Motown, but in between that.
I have to admit, until I saw that you said that those songs like Bernadette were influenced by Bob Dylan, that never occurred to me, never.
Oh, that was everybody. That was one thing Motown was always up on. Whatever new was happening, they got their versions of the song. They had a bunch of songwriters who could, same as the Brill Building. They'll write a song for you in a minute.
You did your version of that.
And I did my version. Testify was my version of that, that era. And like I said, that straight atonal friends and friends are asking me what come over me. Once you hear me say it, then all of a sudden, oh, that really do it. Reach Out for Me was saying, I want to run, but I have no place to go. Levi was really singing it, but he had Bob Dylan, Holland Dozier Holland. They knew what they were doing. That was the real version. Bob Dylan wrote some jams, the best songs. He was a folk singer, so he didn't put all that emphasis on vocal tone. It was a story. They came along with the story and his magic of that tone.
That
sounds right.
So the first time I heard you say that, it changed how I heard so many things after that. Who else could make the connection between Bob Dylan and Bernadette? But it makes total sense.
Bob Dylan was all of that at that time. He was story-wise and, doing the civil rights thing. Right. He lent credibility to that with a tone that, like blues, you could feel it, yeah. But it still was his own personality that became pop. It became very pop. So right. Motown was music for young America. That's what they called themselves. Right. They were able to take that tone and put the stories that they were telling, along with the music that they was putting behind it. Those are some very good arranged songs during that period. Bernadette, Reach Out for Me, Shadows of Love.
Oh, there's Paul Reiser right there. That's Paul Reiser right there.
Oh, no. I'm coming over to you. You that motherfucker. touch me, man. Cute as shit. That's it. That's it. Shit. That's all I got to say. Man. Woo.
I know, the best.
The best.
The absolute best. Did you
Yeah, Paul.
Did you guys get to work together?
No, we're getting ready to do that now. We getting ready. Okay? Absolutely. All right.
Can you talk about it?
I don't even know what it's going to do.
Oh.
I know now that I never met him.
This is it?
No.
Oh my goodness.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, we always had a mutual respect, though.
Oh, and, yeah.
The music was our bond, see? And like he said, Motown set a standard. They set it was a Motown sound which nobody's ever duplicated again. But
Right.
George, you came close. Okay.
I tried.
Because you love it, okay? Yeah. But literally, we have never been in the studio working together. Literally, okay? Now, Don Davis was our producer, and he was like the middleman that fell in between. Don Davis, great producer, great label owner, just a great person, individual, a believer in you, me, and the whole idea of good music, man. Right. Let's keep it alive, man.
Got to. Thanks, man. I tell you something else. I just talked to Brian Holland for the first time last week.
Really?
I talked to Eddie not for the first time. I talked to him years ago for a minute. But I talked to him a year ago, like a conversation, one-on-one, for the first time in the last year. And I'm just talking to Paul now. I'm complete.
Well, okay, so you two are going to do something together.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right? It's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen. Believe you me. Like I said, I talked to Brian the other day, and we said it. We're going to do something. Because it's that time now. That music like rock and roll and blues came back in the 60s and 70s. Motown and all of that era, 63 up to 67, it's getting ready to be all that the blues was to the rock and roll bands back in the day. That's getting ready to happen right now. And at the same time, we moving on off the planet. Okay, we got that music and what's getting ready to happen. We know about samples. We're going to make samples for them. We're going to help them get to that.
All right, well, all right, since you brought it up. All right, I want to play number 4. This is Snoop Dogg talking about you.
Okay.
So let's listen to this.
My first memories of hearing George Clinton's music would be, yes, in the 70s, hearing Knee Deep and One Nation Under a Groove and Aqua Boogie. I remember Sir Nose, I had his poster, the character that he created with the long nose and the white brim on, standing on top of water because he didn't like to swim. And I had that poster in my room because it was so funny, but it was dope. As a kid, I didn't even know what dope was, I didn't know what fresh was, but I know it was funny and it felt good to me listening to Sir Nose and listening to Dr. Funkenstein and all of these characters, Star Child, and these characters that he created, which eventually made me create my characters because I was so inspired by it. He's influenced me in so many ways. He proclaimed me the futuristic Bow Wow, the pick of the litter, me being Snoop Doggy Dogg, the Atomic Dog, the Funk, and just being a pioneer at helping and honing other people's abilities and talents and helping them become individuals on their own, like he did for Bootsy Collins and Catfish and all of the great musicians that played for him. He allowed them, to do their own thing. And that's what I've been able to do, to take on that, to be a leader in the studio and a conductor and a composer. Me and George, we love each other. It's always been mutual. He's come to my house many times. We made many records. That's somebody who really gets the second generation, meaning that when hip hop came about, he didn't antagonize. He allowed us to use his music and sample his, his creativity, and he worked with us. And that's what allowed him to stay around, because a lot of those artists that were old were, disgruntled, and they didn't want the hip hop artists to use their samples, and built up a bad relationship with the hip hop community. And then they eventually fell off or died, and it went bad, and then it just left bad blood. But people like George Clinton, James Brown, they stepped to the plate. Roger Troutman, they was able to allow us to use their music and say, we don't have no problem. Do y'all thing. We love what y'all doing. I just love them. I just love them for life.
That's pretty great. Is that so great?
Oh.
I know.
I call him the pick of the litter. That's my boy Snoop. We've been cool for a long time. And I want to say, the way I look at it, when kids come along and do new things, they do what they're supposed to do. They get on old people's nerve. So whenever I find music that get on my nerve, I know that's the new music. So I get on it. That's how you stay in tune with them and up with them. Because when we came out, we would go around talking about pow, 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 pow. That had to be obnoxious to our parents. The same way we every so often, kids will come along with a new move that everybody say, what the hell? It becomes the thing. So you just got to move out of the way or learn how to dance with them. So I follow them. Whatever they're doing, I'm down. I'm going to help you do it.
All right, so here's what I want to do. So if my research is correct, you are second to James Brown for sampling. He's been sampled, and then you're second for your music.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, you're up there. We're talking hundreds of times. So I wanted to give you guys a montage so you could hear how George's music got used in a number of different songs. So the song is Not Just Knee Deep, and let's listen to how it got sampled. I'll tell you who all the samples are afterwards, but this is how creative everybody got with George's music.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me, mirror, what is wrong? Can it be my daylight clothes, or is it just my daylight song? What I do ain't make-believe. People say I sit and try, but when it comes to being daylight, it's just me, myself, and I. It's just me, myself, and I.
Don't that sound like Mojo?
It's just me, myself.
Wow, wow, yippee yo, yippee yay. The sounds of a dog bring me to another day. Play with my.
Now I'm hoping that you hear me, cause I love it when you hear me. And I'm telling you sincerely that if you kiss me, girl, I'll kiss you back. Cause I really, really, really like you, and I just wanna make it clear. We're gonna keep it fair and square. Kiss me and I'll kiss you back.
You can't take no more from stabilizing my life. Took control of the floor. So jump out your seat, move your feet, cause the beat's complete. I'm never missing the beat.
I don't believe what I'm hearing. Can't impress me by what you show me. I don't think I'm going through changes, or you might see me change for the last time.
How about that? That's pretty good. Okay, so here's who you heard. You heard De La Soul, Me, Myself, and I, a brilliant album that had to, if you know anything about this, I encourage you to listen to this album. It sat on the sidelines of streaming. It was released in 1989, and it had so much sampling in it. It didn't get cleared till 2 years ago to be streamed. But it's a, you cleared it. Thank you, George, for giving the clearance. Snoop Dogg was in there, Digital Underground, Kiss You Back, Everlast, Never Missing a Beat, and Vanessa Williams' Happiness. And that is all over the map, and they all used Knee Deep to create their own music. So
When you hear all of those different ways that your song got used, what do you think when you hear all that?
I giggle. I go in the bathroom and pat myself on the back, on the shoulder. I flush that shit and I come out like ain't nothing happened.
All right.
I love it, you know that.
Okay. Okay, George. All right. All right, God help me try to get serious for a second. All right, I do want to talk about artists' rights, since we're talking about sampling.
We in Detroit, ain't we?
We sure are. So when hip-hop, like you heard Snoop talk about you allowing your music to be sampled and to be used. But I want to talk about the legal part of it, how you would go about, how difficult that might have been at one time to recoup. Did you try to? Do you give permission? How does all of that work in your world? And then I want to talk about artists' rights because it's a big deal right now more than ever.
When it first happened, I didn't know what it was, but it was on the radio, and I knew it wasn't those K-Tel packages that be on TV. It wasn't one of those. I knew I would find my way how to get paid eventually. I was so glad to still be relevant, as opposed to not coming in screaming, but, just trying to figure out, what do I get out of this? It's cool without, and I know these kids, they doing whatever they can to make music. It's a new era. I understood that. But I knew I wanted to get paid, but I didn't know how to at first. So, but De La Soul, the first one you played, and Humpty, those two, when they first put the record out, they came and found me and taught me what records. They gave me a nice sum of money.
That was the De La Soul album?
For me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
And Humpty, they did quite a few of them. Right. But they paid right then and there. I didn't get that from nobody else after that because now the legal part is coming in, and I know their lawyers was telling them, don't get involved, you can't get involved, the label is pushing. So a lot of them were scared to say something. Most of them were scared to say something. Right. I didn't know what to say, and I couldn't trust most of the lawyers I was getting. Every time I tried, they take the paper and run. So it took you a minute to dance around and figure out, how do I get paid? At the same time, I was a crackhead. I'm going to say it just like that. I was a crackhead. So I really didn't know how to do it or where I wanted to do it. I was out there. But at the same time, I made the music. I made the music and made sure that I still be here. My thing is to be here. Now that it's coming, I've got a lot of the masters. I own a lot of them now. I'm getting most of them back. I'm cool enough in my head to put up with fighting for it, laugh at myself, laugh at things that happen, and still be aspiring to get it all back for my kids. It's my heirs. It's generational thing that we got to take care of. I did my fun, but my kids don't deserve none of what happened. So I'm getting it straight out now. You see a lot of myself around now because I've been paying close attention to it. Got a family that's backing with me, an organization of people that are working with me, that we pretty much control our own destiny. We put our own interpretation. I'm having fun still. I can laugh at it. I also paint, doodle, and that's working. So I feel like I did it the right way, even though I wasn't. And at the same time, the band is as hot as it ever was. We got our grandkids, our kids, and I got great grandkids in the group.
Oh, that's so great.
And they're still killing it just like we've been killing it for a while. We got a new mothership. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Oh, we can talk about it?
Yeah, so it's 50 years.
Oh,
Right,
I
we can't talk about where it's going to be, but there is a new mothership.
Yeah,
right?
okay. Thank you. Oh, you know we're going to try. You know we're going to try.
All right. So this is something I was going to ask you. So you know Don Was, of course.
Sure, yes.
All right, so Don and I were talking, and I said, I'm going to interview George Clinton. And I said, and this is what I said to him, and I go, I don't understand how he can remember so many things when he was high a lot of the time. And Don said, absolutely ask him.
I don't know. Believe me, I surprised myself at some of the shit I remember. Because the proof of having been there around 1967, 89 is if you remember, you wasn't there. Trust me, but some of the things I do remember, all of a sudden it started to come back to me. I was wondering if I was there. I probably was higher than I thought I was. But I'm cool now, so yeah, I remember.
It's amazing listening to you. I've listened to a bunch of interviews, and I was like, he remembers, well, a lot of things.
I think that a part of that was wanting to be in this business. I was nosy about everything. Back in those days, you read Cashbox, Billboard, Record World. You read those things daily. They were like Bibles. You knew what everybody was doing. You know, and if you're a songwriter, producer, and trying to figure out who's doing what so you can be on target, you paid attention to most of that stuff. And I was around, the one place in New York was called the Brill Building, where all the songwriters from New York area, and then to come to Detroit was that was the other end of that concept. So I got a lot of information that I was proud of over the years that, you know, you keep that information, because one of the things you do, you tell the DJs, you tell them what's happening, and that was one of the things to get your record on. You keep him informed on what else is happening. That was part of the game. So when that played out, and the digital world started coming in, I started saying, okay, it's about being AI. It's about memory and all that. So I started like honing my skills on some of the things that I remember that I thought was important. And that's where I'm at now with doing these interviews. I know how important it is to bring out Motown, Stax, Philadelphia International. I know what it means, because that's part of our history and that's part of what's going on right now. So when you can bring that stuff up in conversation, it sounds like you know something. First, it sounds like you dropping names. I'm dropping names. Oh, I'm doing that. I'm doing it. That's the name of the game. That's what internet is about. It's about getting them plug-ins, and and when people know people, or they think you know people, it works.
So one of the things that Snoop said, and I saw you nod your head when he said it, was about creating characters. And one of the things, like I always thought after listening to your interviews and watching you, I thought, George methodically planned so much of this out. And not until I talked to Vivian and she said, oh, George said the plan worked. And I'm like, he had a plan. It might not have even been obvious to anybody, but you really, to have been doing this for almost 70 years, you had a plan. So what, in your mind, the methodical part of your career and how you were going to play everything out, I suppose what I want to ask you is, building all these characters was a way to do that, right?
That's the answer. Characters last longer than we do. Bugs Bunny, Mickey Mouse, and all of them do not get old. They do not get old. They're around for every generation. and Sir Nose, Dr. Funkenstein, Mr. Wiggles, Bootsy, you know, and I made myself the last one. I didn't have my name out there until there was no more that wasn't in court with the record company. And that was that I used my name, and that was Atomic Dog now. So now it's not George Clinton, it's Atomic Dog. But characters do last longer than people, or, you know, trying to stand on stage. Once you get past 35, you old with the little kids, because they're the ones that's going to be making the most noise. 12 and 13, yeah, they call them teeny boppers. They're the ones that make the most noise. They're not going to be hollering for nobody 40 years old,
Right.
50 years old. You know, if it do, it's going to be a few of them. But for characters, you can be, you know, whatever age, and you're still all right.
So all the different offshoots of you, you know, P-Funk, Parliament,
Clones.
all the clones, were you always planning to do that? Was it for other reasons? Was it for legal reasons? Was it for what were some of the reasons why you had so many different bands? And then all your individual artists who you supported, which you supported a lot of people.
You said it right, legal. It started out legal. Parliament, after they had their record Testify, the record company went out of business. We couldn't find them. So Parliament name was tied up. We didn't know where he was going to show up or what. We couldn't, so we wouldn't take a chance on recording with Parliament at first. We just took our little brothers and cousins, the bass player, Billy Nelson, Eddie Hazel, Bernie Worrell, and Tiki Fool, and made Funkadelic. They were our backup band. We became their backup singers. They became the star on the first Funkadelic album. Was those 5 people? We were their backup singers. But now, with the group, it was called the Parlor Funkadelic Meant Thing, which means it was a thing. It's not just a group no more. That was the beginning of it. And soon as we did the Funkadelic record, got it going, we were able to get a record with Eddie Holland, Brian Holland, and Victor's, and became Parliament for the first time since we had left it. And now we got Parliament and Funkadelic. It stayed that way from then on. I realized that if the bride's got a hit record, I was going to be a bridesmaid. Okay? It didn't matter which one of us got a hit record, because it takes more than one record. Bootsy came in. We were all one nation under a groove. That's what we were doing. And I realized the more you do that, again, I always looked at Motown as one big group. It looked like to me when I saw the Motown Review, that was one big group. I knew all the writers, producers, arrangers, I knew everybody. That was our format. And from then on, we was all over the place. We had records on every label. You know, and I think that's what probably scared everybody. We were out of control. We was doing what Motown had got in trouble for doing, having a record every week, a new record on the charts. Not out of top 10, they had 7.
Oh my God.
Okay, no, that's the way it was. Though they wasn't trying to let another Motown come along, and believe me, that's what we were trying to do. And then I realized late that, okay, slow down. You're going too fast, and you know, I know I could get records even if I was out of order myself getting high. I had enough people in the group that I knew how to write, produce. We had a team, but that wasn't going to work because it just ain't supposed to work like that.
How would songs come together in the studio for you? It sounds like there was a lot going on.
Funky. Just somebody strike up a groove sometime and everybody fall in and do their part. That was it a lot. But having come from Motown, I knew structure songs. I knew how to write structure songs. But when to do that was our problem. When to do what? So, I mean, we made up songs with Funkadelic. We did Free Your Mind. We made room for us to be able to do anything we wanted to do, and it'd be our bag. Because most of the time they would tell you, that ain't your bag. We ain't got no bag. Right. The bag we got, you ain't talking about that. You know, so, I mean, we made jokes out of everything. We clowned everything. But at the same time, we knew how serious it really was. Because we also besides Motown, the other one that we looked at was the Beatles. They jumped off the planet with Sgt. Pepper. That wasn't fair to nobody. They left here, so that gave you another place to strive to be able to do what we're getting ready to do here in this city with the orchestra.
With the orchestra, yeah.
Yeah, they were doing that on their records. They had orchestration on their records, not like Burt Bacharach or DM, but I'm talking about serious classical music. You heard it in cartoons, but they were doing it on music. So once we saw that was another place we had to strive to. We ain't stopping at Motown no more. Now it's worldly. And so we've been, and once we got a spaceship, we was out of here.
Okay, I want to play a clip of this song because I know that there's a good story behind it. All right, so can you play track 3? Behind that song?
Oh, Flashlight. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of stories behind it. First of all, it's Bernie Worrell is playing the bass on a keyboard for the first time in musical history. Bernie is playing the bass on the keyboard. That's not a bass. It's not Bootsy. Bootsy did the rhythm guitar to track, but Bernie's actually playing the bass on that one. So that's one thing that's strange about it.
So why did Bernie play
we needed something new to do.
Ah, okay.
You know, we had beat up on bass with Bootsy on everything else. So now we had a track that Bootsy sent us with. We took his bass off and put Bernie something fresh on there. Yeah. Bernie could play bass on the keyboards like Larry Graham would play for Sly. That was his concept. Consciously, he said that.
Right.
He was imitating Larry Graham on the bass. Now, the song itself, I was just trying to get something I thought that Jackson 5 might like at first, you know, but it always takes another turn once I get started. And once we got started, the ha-da-da-dee-da-da-da-da-da, that was one of my friends in grade school, bar mitzvah. I remember that shit all my life. And for some reason, it just popped out when I was looking for something to say on that record. But the lick itself, Myron Sanford Sax, that was his bar mitzvah. I remember 14 years old. And I put that, and I didn't think of all that deep until I said it in an interview recently, and it went viral. I said, that's the truth.
All right. I want to talk about some of the artists that were that performed with you, that played with you, that were in the studio with you.
That's one of my first fans in Detroit, period.
I know. I'm glad you got a good seat. You got a great seat. Okay, talk about Bernie Worrell and how important he was to the work you did.
Bernie was, I knew Bernie in the barbershop. I mean, when he was a kid playing, you know, he was a genius playing keyboard. And he went off to Boston and become, you know, graduate of Boston Conservatory and all. Bernie was one of those child prodigies. You know, he was one of the child Him, Eddie Hazel, Billy Bass, and Tiki Forward, they were a special blend of kids, because they were really kids. And Bernie was the one that could read music. He could tell us what we was doing legally or what we was doing musically. We didn't know. We was ad-libbing. I'm out of my element because we sang doo-wop. Okay, but Billy, Eddie, and Tal, they all was the new generation of kids listening to Motown. James Jamerson called Billy the Little Funk Brothers.
That's great.
Little Funk Brothers, because they were a funky set, and Bernie on top of them, because I mean Eddie was phenomenal with guitar playing. Bernie on top of that, we could always make it look like we knew all kind of classical music and everything else, because he could play that alongside of Eddie being the greatest guitar players than Jimi Hendrix. Bernie could put over top of that the classical stuff, and we would like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, King Crimson. Right. We looked like we was a big jazz band. But it was the combination of all of those characters that when you put a Bernie Worrell over that, in that, it just makes the whole thing look like it's another level.
All right, can we play track 6? Since you brought up Eddie Hazel, this is part of his guitar work from Maggot Brain. So let's listen to this. The song is over 10 minutes, and it is an absolute brilliant piece of music showcasing Eddie Hazel. Talk about what it was like to work with him.
Again, like Bernie, like Eddie, like Billy, like that group, like I said, was special. They all was phenomenal. Okay, they were all phenomenal. And Eddie on that one, they all were playing on the record, but I took most of everybody out of the record.
And you took everyone off that song?
Off that song. The whole band is playing, but I took everybody off but Eddie and Tal, just the 2 guitars, because what he was doing was so phenomenal. He needed all this frequency. He needed all that space. So, so I just left it for him to do that. And I did the same thing with Bernie on a few records that he was phenomenal in. I just take everybody out of and let him do what he do.
Did you typically do the mixes for your music?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did the mixes, but I would always have certain people in the studio with me who had legal ears, because I get carried away with my feelings and forget that I'm making a record and I get, personal. But I had 2 or 3 people that I trust that could balance that commercial and creative thing. And some good engineers, by the way. Most of them didn't want to put their name, like the engineer that did that one. Yep. He didn't want his name on the record.
Why?
Because I did so many crazy freak turns and twists. I did most of that, going from speaker to speaker, and I had just learned that from the Beatles. So I was doing it to death, and Jimi Hendrix. So he definitely didn't want his name on there. When the record became such a big record, he said, I was a fool, wasn't I?
I want to talk about somebody who's near and dear to our hearts here in Detroit, and that's Amp Fiddler.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Another one that's phenomenal. They show up on the mothership, and they be there. Amp was one of those. You know, he did a whole bunch of new things in the 90s when we were trying to come up with new sounds. The Fries go with that shake, stuff like that. The new things. And Amp was a big part of the new sounds that we went into, you know, after Atomic Dog, Mothership, and all of that. And he had a lot to do with a lot of the sample people. You know, what's the kid name from it? Jay Dilla. He took Jay Dilla. We went out on the Lollapalooza tour. He brought Jay Dilla with him. We knew they were working together, and I saw he was making the beats, and I thought, man, he's pretty good at that. I didn't know it was a reality that you could put records out like that. But they were making those beats, and he took him out on the road with us. And when we got to New York, he left him there with Questlove and Q-Tip and all them. And next thing I know, the kid was a superstar making beats. And I said, wow, that was it. He was in Amp's basement every day.
Yeah, Amp taught him. He was his mentor. Yeah,
yeah, I know.
Sly Stone.
That's my motherfucker, yeah. That's my man. He was all of that. For real. I mean, he was the one man, all of that. Write, arrange, perform. He was rock and roll for real.
Yeah, for sure. Prince.
Same thing. Same thing. Another one that just full of all of it. He could write, he could arrange, he could play. Everything. And he had ears for stuff that he didn't know nothing about. He could feel when it still would work or have a chance on working. I saw him play the solo with Eric Clapton them. Was it George Harrison? Yeah, but no, you don't pick up a guitar after that.
You know that? Are you talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame performance? So, you know, there was a rehearsal that day, and Prince went out there, and he didn't play. He didn't do a solo because somebody else was sort of showboating up there. And he went, okay. And then it came time for the performance, and that's why if you look at that clip, everybody is staring at him because they had no idea that's what he was going to do and no idea he was that good.
Eric did. Eric was the one who told him to do it.
Yeah, that's so great.
That's the one, you know, he played it on the record, I think.
Yeah.
But he said, you do it. Because he had heard him do it. He knew what he could do. Right. And that was for not only the playing, the acrobats along with the playing. Either you usually can do the acrobats and not be able to play that good, or you can play that good and don't do the acrobat. He did all of the acrobats and was playing equally as phenomenal. And everyone would tell you that's the solo of solos.
Yeah, no question. Well, speaking of guitar heroes, talk about the first time you saw Jimi Hendrix.
Well, no, the first time I saw Jimi Hendrix, he was all of what he became anyway, right. But it wasn't doing that. It was basically playing blues on the stage with no shoes on and a tuxedo. And it was Isley Brothers.
Yeah, he played on that.
I seen him play with 2 or 3 people before he became the Jimi Hendrix Experience. When I saw him as the Jimi Hendrix Experience, I wanted to know what had happened. Because he looked like he had stuck his finger in a socket. His hair was blown out. He wasn't like that when he was with King Curtis. Right. He played with King Curtis, and it was just a slick guitar player that had some nice licks, but he was still shy. He was in the back with his tuck on. But when I saw him again with the Experience, I knew we hadn't done nothing. I mean, it was time to start my whole career over again. Because that was not anything in the rule books about what that record was about. Are you experienced? And I don't think they even did it again. They started becoming normal after that. That one, they went all the way out far as you could go. And then slowly came back to Band of Gypsies, where we all could kind of dance. But if you was a musician and you had ears for it, you realize that was not of this world. And as good as, say, he was playing the guitar, it was like Miles Davis playing the trumpet. It was that level of musicianship, besides the phenomenon that he was with that period of time. Because that was, that was a freedom time and that are you experienced time. And so it was a gateway to wherever we're heading now. Because we're just about ready to leave here.
All right. I have one more song that I want you to talk about, but we're going to play it first. Can you play track number 7?
Funky dogs, nasty dogs. When you're out there walking the street, you may compete. But the dog, untied dog in a telematic society.
When you wrote that song, when that song got finished and before you put it out, did you have any idea that it would have such staying power for decades after?
No, to tell the truth, I didn't know it was going to. I didn't know it was going to have the staying power. I knew it was a hit, but I didn't know how big of a hit until I realized. I've been not saying that. No, but I knew it was. Once they put it out, the radio stations start calling us. They start calling us, asking us what did we want them to do. It was supposed to go to number 1 on the pop stations. And the label was telling them, not yet. They had another record they wanted to go on the chart, so they were trying to swap off the numbers, hold it back. I said, will we be able to go to number 1 2 weeks from now? He said, you'll be able to go there 5 weeks from now if you want. So I said, cool, go ahead. But I realized that the record company at the time was still worried about us being too big for our britches. And they was trying to settle us down. That was after Knee Deep. Knee Deep in One Nation that really put us on that trajectory to be a big pop. And we prided ourselves on being underground. We never really was trying to be all that pop because you only got 3 years after you get there. But like I say, unless you got some characters in there, but that one scared the industry so bad they was telling us it's not going pop. They never told us it went gold. The record has been selling ever since we put it out. It never stopped. I mean, it's still all of that. But they are so afraid that they're going to have to account for that one day. And they are. It's getting to that point. They're going to have to account. It's getting to that point. And it's going to be hard to say that it ain't all that by now. No, because I remember.
All right. I have one more question for George. We could talk to him for quite a bit longer. It's been about an hour, and we want to bring somebody else out to join us on stage. But I have one more question, and that's about your painting. You became a painter during the pandemic, right?
Yep. I got one be in the Louvre this year.
Really?
And of course, it's a dog.
So how, is this something you always wanted to do, or Did it just
No,
happen because you couldn't tour and you couldn't?
No, I started back when I was touring, and most of the time, that's the doodling the stuff you do when you ain't got nothing to do, or when you got too much to do. and once I realized, I saw a lot of fans that was off into our album covers. I mean, the album covers, you can be in them for years and never see everything. Overton Lord, who still live with me, Pedro Bell, those two, and Ronald Edwards, they did the Parliament Funkadelic, the Parlette, the Horny Horns. They did all those album covers, Bootsy. So the fans were into imagery, the costuming and everything. So that became part of my doodling thing when I didn't have nothing else. I used to do my autograph with a little dog. Oh, yeah.
George signed my book. That I don't know if you guys can see that, but he signed my book. It looks like that.
I used to do not that dog, but a dog back in the day. That's what I did all the time for as my signature. And next thing I know, people started asking me for the dog and paying me to do the dog. Okay, I'll do it. And then I remembered in 1980, we used to be at the Apollo Theater, Basquiat, and their crew used to be painting to our music. They used to be doing those graffiti on the trains to P-Funk music. That was the thing to do. You Fabulous Freddie, all of them, they used to paint up Harlem. And then I realized that's part of that imagery that the kids was into. So I started doodling, and people bought painting for $20,000. I said, shit. I got another hit record here. Matter of fact, his mother was the first one to buy painting from me. Right, Lee?
And do you remember, I was the first one who booked you a art show with you
Right.
in Pontiac, Michigan.
Right.
At Amira's old club.
Clutch, no, not Clutch Cargos.
The other one.
The techno club Amira did.
Industry. Yeah.
George had his first showing at Industry.
Sure did.
You did Industry.
I just realized that when I said the painting, I realized his mother bought the first one. And he set up the art show for me.
That's pretty cool.
That's Lee Rosenblum, y'all.
Okay, so we want to bring someone else out. There is a performance happening on Saturday night at the Detroit Opera House called Symphonic Funk, celebrating the music of Parliament Funkadelic. And it's George's music played by an orchestra. And when I heard that, I thought, oh, that's awesome. And then I started to think about the person that would have to write the charts and get it ready. And I thought, wow, not maybe so awesome at first. And that person is Ray Chu. He was a child prodigy. He went to the Juilliard School of Music. He began working with Melba Moore at the age of 16. He was a music director for Ashford and Simpson and the music director for Dancing with the Stars. He's worked with everyone from Diana Ross to Luther Vandross to Donny Hathaway. And he's got an incredible, incredible past that he's bringing all of that to this performance on Saturday. There's still some tickets available, by the way, I've been told. But we want to talk with Ray about what it was like to get ready for this big performance. It's the very first time that this music has been played by an orchestra. So please welcome to the stage, Ray Chu. So Ray, that is what I absolutely thought when I thought, wow, this music is going to be, is that working?
Hello.
Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Okay, good. So there's a lot of questions I have for you, but the first is, how did this idea come to be? And when it was decided to do it, did you jump at the chance or think twice about it?
Well, I'll say that the idea came to me through Vivian. So Vivian, she's backstage. That's
She is
my
hiding
wife
back
and
there.
partner, and she's another 50 years with George Clinton, so she can give it up to Vivian. And so, yeah. Now, George discovered Vivian, and Vivian discovered George when she was like 16 years old. And so she's been, ever since I've been with Vivian, it's been P-Funk. Yeah, she goes on to like a real into it, like, and sometimes I'm like, could you give us a break a little bit, She's like so into it. So that's how it came to me. Now, this whole enterprise of the collaboration and speaking with an orchestra, George will tell you, and he's said it many times, that his music is already doing that. Now we just have to put the pieces with it. The music is already orchestral. It's already speaking about with those kinds of colors and palettes, and so it's been a wonderful task to take this music and explode it out and make sure that we do like the doctor's job is first, do no harm. So the first thing I want to do as an arranger and as an orchestrator and a conductor is make sure that I pay the right respect to the music and that the music does what it's supposed to do. And I take an orchestra and surround it and wrap it in some good, wonderful notes.
How long have you been working on this?
On this particular, it's been months. It's been months. Yeah, it takes a while. Yeah, to really, we're doing 15 songs, and all these songs, everybody's, they know them so well. So we don't want to. There's no new notes to play with the orchestra. We just got to find the right notes that's already there and enhance them. And while I do that, I want to tip my hat to Mr. Paul Reiser right there again, everybody.
Yes.
Because I learned a lot from him. I met Paul when I was about 19 years old as musical director with Nick Ashford and Valerie Simpson. And as a young arranger, and learning how to arrange for orchestras and horns and strings, Paul, would show me what he's doing by example. So the first time I was in the studio with Paul, I was working with Nick Ashford and Valerie Simpson on the Ascended record, and I was 19, and I was in the studio with these big, veteran studio guys, Eric Gale, Steve Gadd, all these guys, and so we're in the studio, and the very first, this is my first session of anything, and so I'm in there, and they put the music up, and I started playing. And he kind of very gently came over and said, young man, I think you missed a couple of notes there. I was like, yeah, wow. I say, but it was so nurturing that, and of course I said, well, I'm not gonna miss any more. But he from that moment on, I just saw the genius of his work, and so a lot of what I do in my creativity with orchestras and music is emulating some of the stuff I saw him do. So hats off to you, Paul. Thank you.
All right, sir. How did you guys decide which songs? There's so many songs to choose from. So how did you narrow it down to 15 songs?
Well, we just took, the best 15, but you're right, there's 20, there's 30. And I think we just took off the hottest list. And again, I'm gonna,
No, let him do that.
Let me do it. Now let her do it. She's
Vivian took care of that.
Vivian again. Yeah.
So you've obviously heard what your music sounds like now through his arrangements, or no, you have.
I heard something this afternoon and it sounded real good.
So did it surprise you, or is it exactly the way you would have heard it?
I know how good he is.
But is it the way you think you would have heard it in your head to hear your music?
I wouldn't try to listen to that. I wouldn't try to put that in my head.
So on Saturday, you're going to be performing along with the orchestra. Yes. And who else is going to be up there with you?
We have Nona Hendricks.
That's
We
so
have,
great. Are you going to do her hair? Who else is going to be up
Vernon Reed on guitar.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's exciting.
And Rasan Patterson joining us. Yeah. So it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
So is there room for improvisation here, or not so much since you have a 44-piece orchestra?
No,
does that work?
well, there's room for improv within the structure of what there is. You know,
'Cause I don't never know what I'm gonna do.
yeah. Yeah. It's a 2-hour show with the 20-minute intermission. So it's it's an hour and 40 minutes of content.
Right.
So we can't just let it explode out.
It can't be like the old shows, the
No, we
5-hour.
No, we can't vamp. No, violins don't vamp too cool.
But we're gonna get it all in there. We're getting it all in there. It's all in there. We got it.
Well, I think it's going to be an incredible night. It's the first time, right? That this has ever been, this performance
This is it.
happening. Perfect that it's in Detroit, of course. It's at the Opera House on Saturday night. There are still some tickets available. I think you go to DetroitOpera.org to get tickets. And, of course, the incredible George Clinton will be there. Are we doing audience questions? We are. Okay. So, again, thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. And George, for being so gracious and sitting down, and Ray, all your wonderful work. So we are doing some audience questions, I believe. Does anybody have? You're going to get a mic? Okay. Anybody have I can only imagine the number of questions. Oh, all right. Let's just start.
Hey, George, how you doing? I did the Zoom call with you last week with the Associated Press.
Okay.
And we talked about my going way back with the funk. I listened to a version of not just Knee Deep, and they stripped away all the instruments, where you just hear the harmony upon harmony upon harmony. How important for P-Funk songs, even go back to Osmium, all of them, how important were the harmonies to telling the story of the music?
The harmonies, I think we really went way overboard. Haven't been able to continue doo-wopping, which is what we started out doing, singing harmonies. Not being able to still do that, it was more a band situation, musicians. We went way overboard with the blends and harmonies. We just stacked shit on top of shit. We did as much as we wanted to do, and then tried to even it out to make it commercial. We was been overboard with harmonies. We tried to do all kind of abstract harmonies, and we just investigated what we could get away with. So the harmonies was a big part of. Gary Scheider was from the church. He played with Shirley Caesar. So he knew that gospel harmony. We were doo-woppers. And then we also was from the Motown of stacking harmonies, octaves on top of each other. We did all of it exaggerated, So the harmonies wasn't accidental.
Good evening, Mr. Clinton. How are you? Just one question. Whose idea was it to start the song One Nation Under a Groove the way it started? Because no other song starts like that, and it's almost hypnotic. I was at a party in 1979, sir, and I got inside the party, and I was 10 years old. And I wasn't really supposed to be there, but I was kind of tall, so they let me stay. The DJ played that song all night long, back to back, and it was just hypnotic the way it starts. And even to this day, it was so hypnotic. Whose idea was it to start that song like that?
I think probably Gary Scheider But he also had a friend that he brought in that was playing banjo. Not banjo, yeah, banjo. Yeah, he's playing, and he just sat in for the first time. We didn't even know him. Him and Gary said, so that intro you're talking about, the banjo sounding thing, that's somebody I don't even know who he is to this day. But that's that sound is the Gary Scheider. That would have been his thing on that one.
It's not. Oh. Good evening, George Clinton. Right here. I just want to say I fell in love with the P-Funk with you years ago. My mother told me to go to bed, and I went to go in the bedroom, but the record I Want to Testify was playing on the radio. So I got up and danced on that record until it went off. And I've been locked down, P-Funk for life. I remember seeing you on American Bandstand with the rings on your toes. I was like, but my ultimate goal, that's why your dreams will come true.
That was Robin Seymour.
I wanted to be on stage with you all. Right. And I've had the pleasure of being on stage with you all several times. And I thank you for last year. You were at Motor City. You were at the casino. You and Carl, I was on my way to the restroom. She said to me, how did you like the show? I said, hell no. I stopped on a dime. I said, could I please get a picture with y'all? And she said yes. So I have on my shirt. Love you, P-Funk. P-Funk for life.
How you doing? It's really good to be here. I'm up here. Yes. So my question is, what was it like for you when Junie Morrison first joined Parliament Funkadelic?
Whoa. That was I knew Junie was all of that, when he was with the Ohio Players. But he came along at the same time. I was just explaining the intro to that song, One Nation. That was his first song. One Nation was the first song. That Dio Shoko, that line and that do, do, dio, do, that was his intro. He said, you do this, you do that, man. And when he did that, from then on, he was on his own. He could do anything he wanted to do. I'd do a track and put my part on it. I just give it to him. I ain't listen to what he did. I knew it was going to be all right. Junie, phenomenal. Right from the very beginning, it was phenomenal.
Good afternoon, George Clinton. Thanks for coming to Detroit. Just want to say, what is the premise behind the song, Never Learned to Swim? What is that about?
What was that? Which one?
Never Learned to Swim.
Oh, Aqua Boogie Baby.
Aqua Boogie Baby.
That's Psycho Alpha Disco Beta Bio Aqua Dulu. That's the rhythm it takes to dance through what we have to live through. It's like swimming between the molecules of water and without getting wet. That's what you have to be able to dance through to live in this world and not get effed up. You got to have that kind of rhythm and that kind of, you know what I'm saying, slithering to survive in this world. That's what that Psycho Alpha Disco Beta Bio Aqua Dulu, that's what it means. Never learn to swim in that. Some it took, weeks or months. We do a little bit at a time. Some was just overnight. Knee Deep was 2 days. Theme in the Black Hole was real quickie. That was a real quickie. That whole Glory Alla Stupid album was done real fast. Sometimes I had to say songs like Mathematics. I took me months and months to get a line in, to get another line as clever as the last one. And then once I got Kim Burrell singing on it, Sly wanted to get on it. So we went back and remixed it again, and you see there's two different versions. That one took almost 6 months.
I'm gonna bring the microphone over there to you right after I finish. I'm gonna bring the microphone to you, sis. I wanted to know, and I should know the answer to this, how many instruments do you play, if any?
None.
Let's go. That is wild.
They don't even allow me to bang my hands. They don't even allow me to do, because I'm going to improvise on anything I do. It ain't going to be twice.
And Ray, how many instruments do you play as a musician, not as a music director, how many instruments?
I don't know, probably about 6 or 7 or something. I studied, the piano's my main instrument, but I also play the drums and all percussion, orchestral percussion. I studied the violin, the cello, bass, had a sum on the trumpet. Some of them, they last a little bit longer than others, but yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you.
We're going to just do a couple more questions, and I see dozens of hands. So.
And Gia.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you. Thank you all. It's just such an honor to be in this close quarters in the room with these musical geniuses here. Musical genius. Thank you for your contribution. I've been P-funking since like 4 years old, so thank you. It's been a long time. My question is real quick. What was the inspiration behind Cosmic Slop?
Cosmic Slop? Oh. Couple of friends of mine. They had to hustle to take care of business, take care of their family. That was the easy one. There was a lot of folks had to, hustle to survive, to take care of their children, and at the same time be praying for forgiveness, for having to do it that way. That was pretty common back. I just had to write about it because that's the kind of stories that was beginning to, early 70s. That was what was on people's mind, So I did talk about that. I was trying to be Beatle.
All right, we're going to go with 2 more. I'm sorry, everybody, please. Still love me when this is over. But we're going to go with Drake, and we're going to go with the sister here, and then we're going to conclude our program.
Mr. Clinton, I have a quick question for you, and this is more cultural than it is music, and it relates directly to your music in that when I was in kindergarten, or first grade, I remember the Earl Flynn was a big dance, and I was just telling Sarita, I said, when you came out, I was doing Earl Flynn. I saw you do it. I said, did we create the Earl Flynn, or did you create the Earl Flynn?
When One Nation, then Knee Deep, and Flashlight, when those records came out, we used to play everywhere we played in Detroit. You had the east side, west side, it didn't matter which side. You had the whole audience. All of that's Detroit. That's just like, what up, though?
What up, though?
I am from Detroit, too. Another thing, Mojo made those songs the national anthem.
Hi.
I saw Sheila. There she is.
Hi, George.
A bride
How
of
are you?
Funkenstein over there, y'all.
They love me, and I love them too. I want to thank you, Vivian and Ray, and all of y'all for bringing the first one here to Detroit, because Detroit loves you like you cannot believe. Okay, do y'all love him? Do y'all love him? Do you love funk? That's right. But I just want to say, I have a question for you. Can you tell them what the meaning of funk is that you told me?
Shit, what did I say? I like that coat you got on, by the way. Funk to me is anything it need to be to save your life.
Oh, wow.
How's that?
You told me.
Do the best you can and then funk it.
You told me that funk is creating something from nothing.
Okay, that works.
Which is creation itself.
That works.
So thank you.
That'll save your life.
Thank you. And I can't wait. We're going to see y'all tomorrow, right? Somebody going to be there? All right. Thank you, baby. Thank you. God bless you, okay?
You said it came from church.
Who's Carline?
You said it came from church. She's my
Oh, it always come from church. What's up?
Where's Carline? Carline? Is she here? Carline?
No, she didn't make it. She'll be here soon.
Did you paint that jacket you're wearing?
See what's that? Yes.
Let's see it. Stand up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Can we say only in Detroit?
Only in Detroit. What's happening, Brooker?
All right. We want to, first of all, give a big round of applause to our Detroit brother who came from some other, George Clinton.
Okay.
This is another one of my artists too.
All right, before you all go, please know a couple of things. One is that there is a party tomorrow at the TV Lounge in George Clinton's honor. So if you can make it there tomorrow. On Saturday is the concert at the Detroit Opera House. There are just a few tickets remaining. Outside, we have a little reception for you, some drink and a little snacks. We're going to do it. We're going to do it here. And we want to thank everyone. Hold on, give him a minute. Give him a minute. We want to thank everyone who made this program happen. First of all, let's give a round of applause to the Wright Museum. The Wright Museum has created an institution where we can come to, I need you all to thank you. They don't know I am from Detroit. But we want to thank the Wright Museum for making us welcome here tonight and giving us this great opportunity, because George said that while he was in Detroit, he wanted a chance to actually meet with the community. And this was our creation to meet his request. We have some refreshments outside. We have a step and repeat for you guys to take some selfies. And we also, this has been live streamed. And if you want to check the Wright Museum website, they will list the link for those who weren't here or for those who want to review the evening. Thank you all so very, very much.
Your choice.